Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Vibing with Sleezy, the podcast. This is season 3, episode 8. I want to apologize. I've been on kind of a week and a half hiatus. It's been busy as shit with schedules and getting things going, but I'm going to record a few podcasts this week, get me back up to date, and season 3 is flowing. I want to appreciate all the feedback. I want to tell everybody thank you for everybody that's been reaching out. A lot of love, especially on the past couple episodes, and then the fantasy football episode really took off. So, excited that the NFL season is finally here. But again, thank you for everybody that's downloading and listening. So I have a special guest. He has been on the show before, multiple times actually. So he's actually a reoccurring guest. He falls in the category of Paige. Big supporter, fan of Vibing with Sleazy. I've always appreciated the love and support he has provided. And I want to welcome none other than Frankie Blice on the podcast. What's up?
What up? What up?
Some people may know him as Tunes. Some people may know him as the best barber in town in Louisville. But you know, he's killing it. He the business is blown up and he's doing great. So he also has
over here.
Pie. Oh yeah. And he also has a new addition since he's recorded last on the show. Has a baby.
I have a little girl named Erin Michelle Blice.
Yes, named after Aaron Brown.
Named after my guy, Aaron Brown.
Yes.
Rest in peace, my guy.
Rest in peace. Yeah, we love you, bro. Aaron Brown was a big part of this show. Aaron Brown is kind of the reason, in my opinion, that season 1 did as well as it did. That guy promoted the fuck out of this thing. He promoted everybody. I mean, not just me. The dude, like Josh Wright, another friend of the show, you know, what Aaron did for him, just with the the Metronaut stuff, just unbelievable. You know, what a loyal guy, what a supporter. Just wanted to see people win. Didn't give a fuck about his shit or what he wanted, or he just wanted to help everybody out. He had ideas after ideas. So yeah, I just wanted to say that, you know, I want to thank him for I know we did the episode last season, but since Frankie's on and just want to talk about it, it's like he really did some big stuff.
Yeah, he was the biggest supporter of my music. And yeah, I mean, there wasn't anything that I ever did that he wasn't 100% behind me on. And it's been rough. Like, it's been harder to make music without him. I tried to write a song about him. Still in the works, you know.
Yeah,
but it's like the hardest shit I've ever been through. And, you know, it never gets easier. So, love you, my guy.
Yeah,
I'll always miss you.
Yeah, brother. We love you, man, and miss you. And like I said, just thank you for what you contributed to all of our lives. And also want to shout out to not only Alex, his fiance and baby mama. I almost said wife, but yeah, fiance and baby mama. And then I want to also shout out his sister. I am so proud of his sister, Grace. Like, the journey, what she's overcome. I see her on Facebook. You know, she's always talking about Aaron, keeping his memory alive. And I can see how, you know, she's trying to live her life not only without Aaron, but to make him proud. And he is proud. So, Grace, I just want to tell you too, if you listen, thank you. Thank you for, you know, not only being an awesome person, keeping your brother's memory alive, but dude, I'm really proud of you, dude.
Yeah. Proud of you, Grace. Proud of you, Alex. Y'all are, you know, doing the best y'all absolutely can. And I know it's never easy. And Alex, you're raising Orion to be a great little girl. She's cute as a button.
Shout out to Alex.
And sure. Mike Brown, Aaron's dad, love you, dude. Everybody out there that, you know, we've been going through this for the last year plus. You know, I know it never gets easier, but all we can do is stay together, you know. We still got each other, and Aaron's still with us, and just got to be positive like he would want us to be. That's the only message he would want us to follow through with, you know.
And see, I've always been a very visual, vivid, like, thinker, and like just kind of a creative mindset of just like I can picture stuff instead of just saying stuff. Yeah. And I'll be honest, man, it's crazy how many times I could just be sitting in the house, hanging out, maybe just smoking, watching TV, even if friends over, and I can just catch myself, like, I swear to God, it's like, look at this chair or look at the dining room, and I can picture like Aaron and like that day when he was over here. And like, I don't know. And it's weird. It's like, not only Aaron, I've actually had a couple of people that have been to this apartment that actually have passed sadly, and you sometimes feel it. Like you feel like, man, they were here, or like, hey, I remember them chilling on the patio, and I'm like, and I don't know if it's just sometimes I'm just kind of like overthinking doing, but that's just my mind, and I swear I feel it. Like I feel like they're just kicking it. They're stopping by.
Yeah, definitely. I think of Aaron all the time. I still haven't watched Clerks 3 yet because it might be too hard for me. Like me and him, all those stoner flicks were just like our shit ever since we were kids.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Every Kevin Smith movie we could recite to you. We'll sit there and watch all the dumb shits and fucking Silent Bob. But Clerks 3 is out, and I really want to watch it, but it's kind of emotional for me, because I don't know how many times we watched those movies together. But that's my guy.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And like I said, I wanted to open up, talk about him, and we always got to keep his memory alive. I don't give a shit if it's season 17. We'll mention Aaron.
I'll mention Aaron every chance I get.
Yeah,
every time I'm on here.
Yeah, so that's why I'm glad that glad we got to talk about it. So, I also, the thing about Frankie, me and Frankie have been close. We know each other most of our lives. Been through thick and thin, and I really do consider the guy one of my best friends. But I want to say, we always are good on the podcast, so that's why I'm like, I gotta have him back. He's a recurring guest. He's a fan favorite, but we hit the fucking ground running when it comes to wrestling. Pro wrestling is what we do, and I want to shout out Gabrielle. Gabrielle's the girl that I am talking to, and I was talking to her today before Frankie got here, and I was like, she's like, what y'all gonna be talking about tonight on the podcast? I said, pro wrestling. I said, you don't even know. Pro wrestling runs it. I said, we are in a wrestling group. I'm explaining to her. I told her about the Undertakers. I've told her about it all. So I was like, we are the real wrestling fan group. So the thing that I love, me and Frankie, we could be busy as fuck with our lives. We could be, we're going to do trip. We got work. We got family. We got bullshit. He's got a baby. I'm working a crazy job with running 3 cities. It gets to the point where you're like, how can you even keep up with it? We keep up with it. We make sure we keep up with that shit. Yeah, we don't miss. So I've shared this before on the last wrestling episode that me and Frankie did and discussed, and we talked about how we didn't really get too much into it, but
it was kind of
spontaneous. You got to deal.
Episode about a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
We talked about a lot of basketball stuff.
Yeah.
Shout out to Brandon Case, and I remember he said my episode was one of his favorites. I appreciated that.
Yeah, shout out to B Cases.
Their episode was one of my favorites. Him
and Jermaine. I
learned a lot about Brandon that I didn't know about.
I don't think you realized how close me and Brandon Case were.
I did. And then me and Brandon were cool in high school, but I don't think we would like consider ourselves close to each other. He was into all the sports, you know what I mean? And I was a fucking stoner kid that was skipping school. We were always cool, you know what I mean? We were always talking and everything, but like I just didn't know all that stuff about him. But which is why your podcast is dope. I tell people all the time, like is her name Leah?
Leah Nolan? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. She came today to get a haircut.
Oh, that's what's up.
And she said, what's up? And I tell everybody, like, Eric's the perfect person for a podcast because he knows so many different people of all different walks of life through all the things that you've done since high school. I mean, you producer school, Bud Light, Leo, like you've done so much shit that you know so many different people.
Yeah.
So your podcast
I appreciate it, man.
is like so wide, like the spectrum is crazy, So especially whenever it's our friends from high school, and I learned so much more about them that I didn't know,
and I think that's what I value about me and your friendship is because not only have you introduced me to so many people, like back in the day, like that senior year was so fucking lit at high school. I could talk about that forever, but you introduced me to a lot of people. I felt like I introduced you to a few people, but then after college, when I came back to Louisville and we started really hanging out, I'm getting haircuts from you, and like we're just talking about life, and we're fucking, going to games or kicking it or wrestling events. The more I've gotten to know you, you've introduced me to a lot of people still and like kept me relevant. But dude, I've introduced you to people, and what I love about it is, bro, a couple of people, I won't even mention names, but you've looked at me and you're like, bro, I never in my life thought I'd be fucking kicking with this person or hanging out with this or smoking with this person. And it's just because I think that's dope that I've been able to introduce you to people. And yeah, I remember Lexington. Lexington was fucking lit. Yeah. We got a certain person pretty stoned, but it was just like, it was hilarious. Just like us, you've introduced me to so many people from walks of life. I introduced you to people. So it's just cool that our friendship has been able to do that shit.
And like, what's funny is like everything that we did was pretty parallel. Like,
yeah.
We both went to Seneca our freshman year.
Yeah, I said that earlier. Yeah.
Well, where did you go to middle school?
Myers.
Okay, yeah. So like, yeah, Seneca, we went to our freshman year together, and like
we ate lunch together.
Yeah. Did you elect to leave?
Yeah, I chose the basketball.
Okay,
because Mauro Ligo recruited me.
Yeah, Mauro, the recruiter of all.
The guy who recruited like 40 billion kids and got fired for it from bowling, but he didn't do nothing.
But yeah, so like it was crazy because I got kicked out. I got kicked out of Seneca, and then because I was on hardship transfer, J-Town was my home school. So I show up. After freshman year, I show up a few weeks into the school year. Sophomore year, there's Eric Clark. I said, "Oh shit, this motherfucker's everywhere." And yeah, so that was crazy.
I was like, I gotta follow Tunes, bro. Like Tunes and I, like, yo, we can't just have 1 year.
Anybody like. You went for basketball.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. I went for basketball.
I couldn't get that attention.
Well, let me tell you about. I just want to tell you about that J-Town feel about walking in, bro. Before we get into wrestling, that's so funny you bring that up. So, I don't know if I've ever shared this thing on the podcast. So, I played basketball at Seneca my freshman year. We had we fucking maybe won 10 games, but I got to start and. Shout out to my boy Hilton Bernard, his dad Todd Bernard. He was coaching over Fern Creek. He was trying to get me to come to Fern Creek.
Hey, before I'll get that thought. Hilton, bro, I've been down bad the last 3 days. Congratulations on your wedding, dude. I'm so sorry I missed that. I was so sick this weekend. It's ridiculous. You can probably hear it in my voice still. But congratulations. I hope your day was perfect, dude. And
yeah, shout out to Hilton. Congrats, bro. I just learned about it. Yeah, no, you're good. I knew you cut Hilton's hair. I knew you were close with him. So shout out to Hilton. We go way back to middle school. His dad is a fucking class act, fucking hell of a dude. One of the best dudes I've ever met as a coach and just a good guy. Todd Bernard, he's a teacher at Fern Creek as well and coach. But I remember he talked to me. He said, bro, come over to Fern Creek. Like, get you to play. I always did want to play for him, but that didn't work out. And then I was like, and then of course, Morrow, he's like, hey, bro, come on over. Like, and I was like, and I'm like, okay. And then Nick Gagel's like, bro, come on over. And then a couple people were like, come on over. Well, then what's crazy is I was like, all right, Seneca, then Coach Branch at Seneca, he catches wind that I want to go to J-Town and he corners me in the office. Coach Branch, I'll never forget this. So Tony Branch, guy who fucking won the U of L national championship, he corners me. And this is how I can prove people. I had a little hooping in me. This guy looks at me and goes, "You're really gonna leave me to go J-Town?" I said, "Yeah, man." I was like, "Dude, I'm starting over here." I was like, "Bro, we're not winning." And like, bro, like my jersey can't even like hang on me. It's like I got a jersey that's like 2X large. Like, bro, like come on, bro. I was like, they got jerseys that fit over there. So I'm like, I'm messing with him. And he's like, seriously, you're going to do? He's like, you go to J-Town, Clark? He called me Clark. He's like, don't ever talk to me again. So you know what? We never talked again. And I left, bro. Hey, Tony, I left, bro. And I ran J-Town, dog. So fuck you. But no, I went over J-Town. I didn't run shit. I came over as a basketball player, just like had fun. And I was a total fucking on the bench role player. My role completely switched because, J-Town's going 32-3. Right. I may be playing 3 minutes. But at the end of the day.
You stepped in the season they won state.
Yeah.
As a sophomore.
Yeah, which is dope. Like, and I was like on the team. So it's like, that's all that matters. Yeah.
Yeah, but what's someone's expectations as a sophomore?
Exactly.
State championship team. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I was like, I'm cool with JV right now. Like, yeah.
Losing record at Seneca.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Marlon had that NIL money before the NIL existed. 15 years prior.
Oh, for sure, dude.
What did he give you? What did he give you?
He took me to a U of L game, bought me some chicken tenders once. But dude, I swear he brought me to a couple U of L games. But what was cool about it, like I said, shout out to Morrow. I played fantasy with him for years. He's a good dude.
Gago got that bag. Gago got the bag.
And Tilford got that bag. Dude, so I'll tell you a hilarious story here in a minute. And I'll say it on the show. It's funny as fuck. So the thing about it is, shout out to Morrow. I love Morrow. But the thing about it was this, I came and played for him. So what's funny is I remember I came for Summer League and I'm like really excited. I'm like about to play for J-Town, new squad. And I walk in and I had this rivalry in middle school. It was always Myers versus TT9. I might have shared this on the Brandon Kaysen podcast with Tremaine, but dude, I'm like, yo, whose car do I ride in? And we got a tournament out in North Odom, and I'm at the back of school. And Morrow goes, why don't you get to know some of your teammates and ride with one of the cars? So D Stan's dad's like, you ride with me, son. And I was like, okay. So I walk over. Well, D's like, you can get in the middle or something like back there. So I get in the back. So I'm sitting between Taco and Barry Moore. And I got D up front, and they both look at me and they go, what are you doing here? And then D's like, you like rap music? And they all start like questioning me, and they're like, we remember you, Myers, boy. And I was like, oh God, we had this rivalry. Like we'd be fighting. Barry's mom be flicking us off at the free throw line in middle school.
Had you right where they wanted you.
Had me right, dude. They're looking at me, and I was like, listen, I'm just coming here to hoop. Yo, I'm cool. I'm on y'all side now, like at J-Town. I was like, yo, I like rap music. Like, hey, everything's cool. What's fucking crazy now? Taco and I are close as fuck. We kicked it all the time. We kicked it even after high school. Me and D just fucking invited me to his wedding a few years back. And Barry Moore and me are super close too. Like every time I see him. So it's hilarious how things change. But J-Town basketball was fun. I was really honored to be a part of that program. That was a lot of fun. And like I said, I ended up kind of taking a step back from sports towards the end, focused on music, focused on kind of just enjoying the high school experience. And everything's played out perfectly. And it's cool that, like, you know, I don't know. It's just cool to even be a part of it. I mean, and it was just kind of cool too how that all worked. Like basketball, when I played, everybody kind of knew each other. Yeah. Like, dude, I'm knowing Hilton Bernard. I'm knowing he plays for Fern Creek. I'm knowing you know, rest in peace, Lee McGee plays for Central. I'm knowing, you know, Barry, it's over here. You know, it's just you get to know everybody, and that's really what's cool.
My biggest regret in school is I went to TMS.
Yeah.
And I made the team in seventh grade, the 7th and 8th grade team. And then
bro, you could hoop, dude. I remember hooping with you,
like, you're right, but I just
you didn't take it seriously.
No, I broke my wrist.
Oh, okay.
In practice, like during before games even started.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that whole lead up, you know, a couple months. But I still practiced.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to stay on the team. So I still practiced, and I actually learned to shoot with my left hand and everything.
That's
just so I could do things in practice. But I had a cast on and everything. Mm-hmm. Somewhere in between 7th and 8th grade, I started getting into the wrong thing. I didn't even go back out for the team in 8th grade because I was just like unfocused, you know what I mean? And then I'm way different than I was in high school.
Well, you know what's dope though? We played each other in 7th grade.
Yeah, probably.
No, we did. Myers for JC's team. Yeah, so that's sick, dude. I didn't know that.
I was hurt, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, so I didn't play, but like
you were there.
And cool. Like in 7th grade, all the 8th graders was getting all the clock. You know what I mean? Like, but I always wanted to go to Mel. You remember Alex Gravel?
Yeah.
Right. So Alex Gravel was older than us.
He always had the diamond earrings.
Yeah. He was the white dude that was the hooper on
Bale. Yeah, the long dude.
So I would always be like,
I hooped against.
I was friends with his brother Ben Gravel in middle school. So I would always look up to him like
Ben's real chill.
Like, yeah. And I always wanted to be like that in Mel. If I knew myself better then, Manual was like the perfect place for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like being artsy and everything, but like I didn't give a shit about nothing in high school.
But here's the thing,
I was like so unfocused on anything.
Didn't you feel like though, like you were like me in middle school, like even if you were like, it don't matter if you're being bad or not, like we probably both were thinking that way, but dude, didn't Manual feel like such a stretch to get in? Like, didn't you feel like
from TMS you were allowed to
TMS?
Go to
I forgot about traditional.
You would get in the mail automatically.
Yeah.
But if you chose to go to Manual, you could. You know what I'm saying?
Well, see, I'm coming from Myers. It's almost like I'm coming from the fucking like Division III.
Yeah, but I chose to leave TMS. I hated the traditional program.
Yeah.
It was a lot of uppity kids.
Yeah, bullshit. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I didn't like it. So
and like I said, if you would have said fuck you, you're
No, I'll get to the fuck you. You know what I'm saying? I'll get to all that. No, but I just didn't like the kids I went to school with. So that's why I went to Seneca.
Yeah.
Because you know Rico.
Yeah.
And he went to Seneca, and that was like my big brother. So like I wanted to follow him. I knew a bunch of people there. So and I really liked my freshman year at Seneca, but I just didn't give a shit about nothing.
Bro, we had the same lunch, and I remember you'd sit down, I sit down, and then bro, what was crazy too? We didn't talk about this, but the whole like, oh, there's Eric Clark. There's Dean Perrott.
Yeah.
Shout out to Dean Perrott.
Yeah.
Dean Perrott, me and Frankie went from Seneca to J-Town. Now, Dean's who Morrow really wanted. Morrow didn't want me. Like, Morrow just wanted me to come play. He thought I was a decent player. I'd be good on the bench. Like I said, I did my thing, but I was just a role player. Fucking Dean's like a star. He won the state title. Like, he's a real champ. Like, he was a really good player. And I actually shout out to Dean. I saw him a few years ago, but he came from Seneca as well. And it was dope that also I love that me and him got to hoop together again, because it's like, we're talking, we're cool. And like, I'll be honest, there's a few guys in J-Town give him shit. We all give each other shit back in the day. But I remember like Dean would like come to me, like be like, bro, these motherfuckers, like, like, so we kind of had that Seneca bond of like, because dude, Dean though at Seneca, what was hilarious, he was such a different person in the locker room. You get to a program where it's not serious, he's in there clowning, he's hilarious. He gets into J-Town, kind of quiet. Hey, what's up? Yeah, I'm here. Like, I'm like, bro, like, I'm like, dude, you're over here fucking dancing in the locker room freshman year and then sophomore. So it's just cool how, I don't know, it's also cool to see though how a disciplined basketball program is. And it's also crazy to see how different teams are. It's such a difference. And just in athletics in general. And just,
I always wish, like, I played more basketball as an adult than I did, like, through high school. You know what I mean? Because, like, I loved it as a kid. I loved it, and I wanted to play, and I had all these, like, ideas. But then, being quite frank, smoking weed and doing a whole bunch of shit too early in life. You know what I'm saying? And then I didn't care. And I, every year in high school, I just barely made it. You know what I mean? Because I knew I needed a diploma.
Yeah.
So it was like, but like, I'm way different than I was then.
Bro, but
night and day, like, people that knew me then that really I haven't talked to since would probably like be shocked. You know what I mean? Like,
you're doing great, man, and like I'm proud of your journey, bro.
It's just about like a mindset.
Not for sure. Yeah,
we all doing all right.
Yeah, we doing good. We hanging in there. We
doing the best.
Yeah, we're doing the best we can, man. Like, we all are, bro. Like,
best we can.
I'm trying, bro. I swear, some days I wake up, I'm like, man, it's crazy out here, but I'm trying.
Yeah. Also, Miss Phillips.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to Miss Phillips.
I know.
Yeah.
Because we were at the parade the other day with Dylan Blackwell, Courtney, and
shout out to Dylan. Dylan, big supporter of Vibing With Sleezy. Thank you, Dylan.
And then Miss Francis is sitting there. She's in Miss Phillips, not Miss Francis. Miss Phillips is in the parade. I was like, Miss Phillips.
Yeah. Dude, if Miss Francis was in the parade, that'd be crazy. She'd be like, hey, Frankie, what's up, bro? Like, you'd be like, hey, what's up?
Tell me to stop acting the fool.
Dude, you could be holding your baby, had your arm around Jenny. You're literally just sipping a Coca-Cola, and she's like, hey, do better. You're like, what the fuck? Like, yo, I'm over here.
Stop acting the fool. That was
my favorite thing. So, but no, man. Also, too, real quick before we dive into wrestling, which we're gonna get to, barbershop. Sometimes. Yeah. We're just vibing, bro. That's what the show's about. But talk about your barbershop real quick. We always want to give the promotion, bro. You're killing the game. Shout it out.
Yep, the Vintage Barber Lounge. Shit. How many years were we in? 4 years plus.
I remember the grand opening party. It was lit.
4 years plus. Everything's good, man. I'm very lucky to have the barbers that I got working with me. Snoop, Spence, Mel. They it makes it easy, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Me, Trey, and Razor all co-own the shop, and shout out to Trey and Razor. Razor got some new music coming out.
Nice.
It's just nice. So.
Yeah, shout out to my boy Trey, dude. Trey is hilarious, dude. Trey's the fucking man, dude. You come in the shop, man, Trey make you laugh, dude. He be saying some really cool shit, dude. Like, hilarious shit.
Yeah. And so shout out to both of them. Shout out to the barbers with me.
Yeah.
At the shop.
You got a good crew, man.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's adults. Everybody,
getting their money and focus, bro.
Shit, I go on vacation sometimes. I ain't gotta worry about shit, bro.
That's such a good feeling, because like, I'm in an aspect where I run, like, I got 18 contractors under me. Bro, like, literally, I'm gonna say this is a hilarious. Last week I show up. I put this one dude, I said, yo, like, hey, run the crew here. Like, make sure everybody's doing their shit. So I show up. Everybody's working, doing their shit. I'm like, hey, where'd he go? well, everybody don't fuck with him, so they just ride his ass out. So they look at me and they go, he went to go get a blowjob on Blue Lick. And I said, who's on Blue Lick? So the motherfucker shows back up and I'm there still. And he goes, oh, hey, what's up, man? I just went to go get a burger. I said, a burger? I said, when did a burger turn into a blowjob, bro? I was like, dude, I said, where you been? I said, what's up with Blue Lick? He said, oh, let me show you the girl Blue. I said, you're guilty. And I said, it's cool, bro. But I was like, dude, you can't go get a blowjob like at 3 or 5 o'clock, bro. Like when like come in a little early. Right. You can. So it's just hilarious, the excuses. But like that, I would love just to have that 16. Feeling. But I would love to have that feeling where I could just be like, all these dudes are doing their shit. I don't even have to check.
Yeah, you're talking about 16.
Like 18.
18, yeah. I mean, so I got 3 guys, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, so it's not as much worry. Yeah.
It's easy, you know.
But yeah, Frankie's shop, you know, he's real humble. He's a humble guy. It's had Bun B in there. It's had Jack Harlow in there. You know, a lot of big names, a lot of big people come in. Local.
A lot of celebrities.
Yeah,
you know?
It's awesome.
I'm a Kentucky fan, you know, but shout out to Steven Van Treese.
Number 1 draft pick MLB for the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Oh, yeah.
What's his name?
Yeah, Henry Davis.
Yes, Henry Davis.
Louisville. I cut his hair the whole time. He's a super humble kid, and I'm really happy for him.
So if you want a haircut from somebody who doesn't, like somebody that's cutting local guys, some people that are cutting like, you know, rappers, celebrities, go to Frankie. He's cutting celebrity people. Nobody else is doing that shit in town, dude. Like nobody's just sliding into their shops. Like you don't see that at other places. So
we had this billionaire Adam Wiseman come in.
Adam Wiseman?
He's
big name.
It's ridiculous.
Bro, I want to be honest with you. I'm glad that you brought up billionaire because that's another reason I'm glad you're on this podcast because every time we're just like smoking, just kicking it, every time you say something, it's like we kind of piggyback off each other, like a topics. So billionaire. All right, I got hired this job. I'm not going to share like all the details because I don't want to put out too much of my business, but about 7 months ago, it's been going great. Love it. Love my boss. Love everything about it. Like, do have a good crew. Like I said, contractors drive me nuts, but we do have a good group. And at the end of the day, I get told by the president and my boss, the assistant boss, like, hey, like, we hired you, but like this company's only around because like we're funded by billionaires. And I was like, what do you mean we're funded by billionaires? So like a couple billionaires like run us. And they own a shitload of other businesses, like 200 plus businesses. We're just one of them. But they fund us, they get shit for us and all this stuff. And I was like, holy shit. I was like, are you for real? And they're like, yeah. So we go out to Drake's like a few weeks ago and I meet a billionaire for the first time. And dude, he's cool as fuck. I meet his girl. I'm talking to him. I just talk sports a little bit. I realized like he knew a little bit about some sports. So I focus on that. Like I mentioned NBA or something. And then he was kind of like, oh, I don't follow that. And I was like, all right, fuck it, we're going to NFL. And then like got in and then made his girl laugh a little bit. I'm a funny guy. And then my boss looks at me, he's like, you're doing great. And then this other guy, and then next thing you know, we get invited to Drake's again. It's a big group. They're kind of like, oh, look who's coming in late. And I was like, sorry, out there grinding and working hard. I was like, hey, how's it going? The other billionaire was there, shook his hand. I looked at them both. I said, loving it. It's going great. They're asking questions. They're like, how do you think you're going to eliminate this? How do you think you're doing it? I was like, doing this. They're like, welcome to the team, proud of your team. And I looked at Kyle and said, these guys are great. He's like, you wouldn't even know it. So it's just, I'm going to be honest with you. It is a crazy feeling to me. I've met celebrities. I've met athletes. I know people that, you know, they have way more money. I've been around people like that, but, you know, and I don't make it weird. You know, I get it, but I've never been in the room with a billionaire and I've never been in like Drake's, like a place I used to hang out in my early 20s. Like it's a pretty crazy feeling just to be by somebody or sit across from somebody at a table and go, you have a billionaire? Like I got 1,100 in the bank. You got 11 billion? Oh, okay. You're a different level. Yeah. But then I'm like, and I'm over here like this. I swear it was hilarious. It was like definitely how I thought. I had a long day. I was hungry. And the table's real quiet, and I'm digging into this chicken apps, their order, these grilled chicken bites. And these billionaires, I swear, I can read a room perfectly. They're eyeing me like, God damn, this dude's eating a lot. I'm not even stoned. And I look at my president Bill, and he goes, yeah, you're a growing boy. And I was like, well, I'm 32, but I was like, I like food. And then next thing you know, I look at the fucking billionaire dude, and I said, is it cool we get another thing of grilled chicken bites? It's like a $9.95 dish. My man looks at me and he's like, yeah, go ahead. And then Bill looks at me and he goes, do you want a couple of plates? And he's like, looks at the bartender. He's like, get us a couple rounds of chicken bites over here. And then everybody looks at me. And here's the thing. I knew everybody at the table's judging me, but everybody had cocktails in them. And they looked down at me. A few of them, they go, yeah, those things were really good. Like to make me feel good. Like, yeah, that's worth it. But at the end of the day, I felt so awkward asking this guy that like those chicken bites are like literally a penny to him. And I look at him and I'm like, can we get another round of these?
He's making more in that minute. The chicken bites is worth.
I'm over here like, chicken bites, please. Pass it here.
He's buying the chicken bites and he still made money that hour.
And then you know what's weird? You know what's fucking weird? My paycheck's been correct every time, but that next pay period, I was deducted $9.95. So I'm questioning that. I've been asking the county; they haven't said shit about it. So it's just pretty fucking awkward. But at the end of the day, it was so funny. I just remember asking, and then I was like, "Man, this is pretty dope." Because then also too, the beers were like flowing. And then what's crazy is like my president's like real healthy. And he looks over and he's like, everybody's drinking beer. We're all putting beers. I'll be honest. I'm like, I had a long day. Those chicken bites hit the spot. I need something to wash them down. So I'm just ordering Goose Islands after Goose. I got these brews coming. And my boss texts me. He's 4 years younger. He goes, damn, Sleazy. He's like, yo, you're killing it, bro. And I'm like, dude, I'm feeling good. I'm talking. I'm like, how about them Bears? Like one of the guys is from Chicago. Next thing you know, this fucking guy, the president, looks at everybody has beer. Everybody's lit. He goes, alcohol's poison. And I was like, and this assistant dude goes, look, as Eric's drinking his beer, his 7th beer. And I was like, I looked over at this guy. He's brand new. I said, you counting? Like, dude's calling out my 7th beer. I'm like, bro, you're not paying the tab, dude. You're not a millionaire, dude. So it was good times. I love everybody. It's fun, but I had to share that. It was like my billionaire experience. Pretty hilarious. So just kind of how I took it. Maybe nobody else saw it that way or read it that way, but I was really analyzing that night. I was like, and then I also realized when I got to the car, I was like, yeah, I was having a good time. But sometimes you gotta be that guy. Like, and what's cool now, the office used to be real quiet when I walk in. Everybody's like a library. And now I walk in and Mark's like, Eric's in the house. And Judy's like, what's up, Eric? And I'm like, I'm just going to my cubby real quick and type some notes and roll out. And then there's this new girl, real ditzy. She's been there for 3 weeks. She's looked at me 8 times and goes, what's your name and what do you do again? I was like, you process the checks. Like, I'm Eric. I'm the guy out here sweating. You got this little miniature $15 fan blowing you there. You don't know my name. We got 12 people that work for us. I'm Eric. She's like, Mark looks at Mark. And then what I love too is like 2 weeks ago, I'm moving a fucking cabinet into the office with maintenance, and my boss goes, put in Rachel Mark's room. So Mark's cool as fuck. And I walk in, I go, hey, what up, Mark? And I'm putting the thing. He's like, what up, E? And I turn around and I hear her. I'm in the fucking room, bro. I turn around and I hear her go, is that it? Like, what's his name again? What's he do? And I go, I'm in the room. I'm Eric. I've told you 5 times. And I like walked out because I'm like sitting there thinking to myself, like, bro, you have to whisper behind me to ask for who it's just crazy how people are, bro. So yeah, but hey, so yeah. And then, what's crazy too is like, I love working there and, because it's such a good vibe and I love hanging out with such a smaller group in such a laid back group. So it's just been a real blessing. But life's good, man. Yeah. Yeah, dude. Because I've been through it with some stuff. So I like with some work adventures, I'm always giving my all. So like Leo was my real bread and butter. And now it's like, this is a cool thing. And I'm really riding on it. Like I'm ready to see what the future, but life's good, man. I'm real happy and feeling blessed. Shout out to the Wolfpack. Shout out to Gemini and Paige. I'll be on Lick It Like a Lollipop October 14th. And, I just want to say, can't wait. And I was on Coven of Rejects this past Sunday, live from Idaho. So shout out to Idaho, the potato state. We did a podcast from there, and it was fucking lit. And shout out to Gemini, and I love her brand. And, she's really promoted Vibing with Sleazy, and so is Paige. So shout out to them. And then I want to again shout out to Gabrielle. Really excited. I'm gonna hit up Cincinnati this weekend, Newport area. Haven't been up there in a while. I love getting up there. It's fun. So looking forward to that. And so on to wrestling. So me and Frankie, of course, like I said earlier in the episode, huge wrestling fans. Been to WWE events. We've watched tons of WWE pay-per-views together. We both love wrestling. However, we have transitioned into the AEW world. It was fuck WWE. I am glad Triple H is taking over creative. Things seem to improving. And like I said, I went to SummerSlam. I'm not a hypocrite. I'm not going to not go to a wrestling show, but I'm rocking with AEW. I love AEW's product, but AEW's been real spicy lately, even behind the scenes and not even from the wrestling standpoint. So with me saying that, we're definitely going to dive into that. But this summer has been really fucking interesting. And when I say that, it's because of a few things with the wrestling world. But the one thing is, and the number one is Ric Flair's last match. Oh my gosh. I have never seen such a shit show in my life. I mean, the card was amazing. And when I say card for the people that are listening that aren't wrestling fans, that's every match on the show. So that's like all 10 matches. That's the card. Hell of a card. It was a deep card. But Flair's match, I thought Flair was going to die. I literally thought he was dead. I think he did die a couple times. It was horrifying. But, I think like you said, me and Frankie had talked about it last time I saw him. I think he was dehydrated. I think he had drank the night before, the day of, and was so excited. And he got dehydrated, and then he just didn't realize, like, this is going to be a lot of ass whooping. Like,
yeah, that was one of the most embarrassing things I've ever seen. In wrestling.
Yeah.
Outside of like some of Undertaker's last matches, whenever he was,
and he was there, which is crazy. Taker, Mick Foley, and Bret Hart were in the front row.
The Undertaker Goldberg match was terrible.
My God, that was like botched almost. Like
Ric Flair, and like you said about the card, it was funny because the audience that came to see the match were there for Ric Flair. It was just a bunch of older wrestling fans that wanted to see Ric Flair's last match. Yeah, they had no idea who these other people were on the card. The show was like it was quiet, even though there was great matches going on with a whole lot of talent that they just didn't know about. There's a bunch of lapsed fans that don't watch anymore. They just wanted to see Ric Flair. And
what's sad is the Lucha Libre match of the night was so good and so violent, almost like taking some really hard moves. And it was so early on the card. And I was like, this shit should have been almost before the Flair match. Like, it was awesome. So there was definitely some great matches. But yeah, with those three WWE legends being there in-house, that was fucking crazy for them to basically witness that. But not only Ric Flair's family in the front row, it was really awkward. Ric Flair let out a scream I've never heard in my life. And it was like he just got woken up. Ah! And then next thing you know, his family's like, oh God. And then he's just getting, he's on the wall. Like he's getting his ass beat. And he's just, ah!
Like, he was faking a heart attack. That's what that whole spot was. He was faking a heart attack.
That was scary.
To catch his opponent off guard. And then whenever his opponent let off, then he like took advantage.
Like, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, he's faking a heart attack, and then he like pokes his.
It scared me.
Who was it? Jared on the outside.
Jeff Jarrett. Well, actually, no. He hit fucking Jay Lethal, and he hit him with the.
He poked him in the eye after he faked a heart attack. That's
typical Flair.
That's not good.
That's typical Flair, but it's not good. And here's the crazy thing.
I almost died.
Yeah.
A few years ago. He almost like he was. They gave him like a 90% chance of living when he was in the hospital the last time, and like he's rehabbed and got himself into this shape to where he can, I guess, get cleared. I don't know how, but
it's sad. It's sad how
he said he passed out 3 times. The end when
gosh,
when
poor Flair.
Andrade was giving him the brass knucks.
He's out. Like, the fuck up. He's like, what the fuck?
You gotta do this.
Yeah, you gotta do this.
And then the punch had no power behind it.
And the guy was like, oh shit. So I'll say this too. I was in town that weekend for Ric Flair's last match. I didn't go. I went to SummerSlam the night before. The energy was big in the city. Wrestling fans were everywhere. Everyone was talking. You got some woos at SummerSlam, of course, when Charlotte came out, but you also, like on the screen, and then you also had just some woos in general because Jeff Jarrett came out and all that stuff. So people were there, and most of those SummerSlam people probably went. You had wrestling podcasters everywhere, YouTubers. So it was a lot of fun, but I drove past Municipal, and they have the Ric Flair's last match sign, and Municipal has been around since the fucking like 60s. It's had a lot of history, had a couple crazy moments, and I lived in Nashville for 4 years, and I went to Municipal maybe once or twice, had a roller derby there. I mean, at the end of the day, it's kind of a shithole. I mean, to be honest, it's historic, but it does have wrestling, but it's like, I don't know if he wanted just the hometown feel, but I don't know. I still think Flair should have ended his last match with HBK.
Absolutely.
That was one of the best matches in a long time at WrestleMania at that point.
I mean, that would have been a perfect way to go out for anybody. You get your last match at WrestleMania against Shawn Michaels. You have a great match like that.
And he says, I love you. And then super kicks him in the head.
But you know how much alimony he owes?
It's sad. Yeah.
He owes a lot, so he has to make money. So he was broke, basically.
Well, he's now in the weed game. He's got the Ric Flair drip weed strain. He's now got the he fucks with the Migos, Offset, and 21 Savage. So he's done the Ric Flair drip. But he's selling out. But I mean, at the end of the day, he's funny as a character. I'll give him that. I did just watch an episode. I got sent, excuse me, Barstool Sports has a guy, and I'm going blank now on his name, but he's long hair, blonde guy. There's always a guy sitting there eating sundae. His name's, it's like Sunday's interview, and it's a guy eating ice cream in the middle, and it's like a celebrity or an athlete. And I'm watching all of them, and he had Ric Flair on there. And Ric Flair's like, so confused about shit, and you can tell how out of it he is. So this guy's just drilling him with questions, and he goes, so you were a bad guy, like you're a heel. And Ric Flair's like taking this interview super serious, and there's a guy eating ice cream, like it's a total joke. And the guy's like, so, and it's kind of his gimmick. And then next thing you know, he's like, you were a bad guy, right? And he's like, yeah, I was the baddest. I used to be the baddest in the game. And then he was like, so you were number one bad guy in the world, and then Adolf number two. And then Ric Flair goes, I don't know who the fuck Adolf is, but I was baddest, and I don't know. I can't say I know Adolf. And then he goes, you don't know Adolf. And he's like, no, don't know Adolf. He's like, you've never heard of an Adolf in your life. And he's like, Ric Flair is so serious. He's like, no, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. And he's like, I don't know an Adolf, never met an Adolf. And then the guy was like, okay, and next question. And he looks at the dude, and he's like, and then just keep going. But you can tell Ric Flair's just completely fucking out of it. Like, yeah. And I'm like, dude, what? So it's fucking hilarious. Like, just kind of how, I don't know. I love Ric Flair, but it was really funny. Just those, like that, hearing that interview. And then they said something to him about, oh man, he said something like, can we show you a segment that's sponsored by our new sponsor? And Ric Flair's like, yeah, go ahead. And it's him and this guy just chopping each other. Woo, woo, woo. And Ric Flair is just so focused. He's like, yeah. Mm-hmm. He's just looking. And the way they do the camera angles, it's hilarious. But yeah, but I don't know. Ric Flair, though, with this weed, I saw him on a podcast with Tyson, and then I saw him interviewing with somebody else, and he's blowing tough. Like Flair's like feeling good. He said body's feeling good, So I just after that last match, I just couldn't believe it. And I'll be honest too, for him to have that last match, that fucking outfit, what the fuck, dude? That looked like the blue meanies from ECW. It he looked like he was joining the Blue WO. I was waiting for Stevie Richards to come out, hit Jeff Jarrett in the head. I was like, what the hell's going on? So, but no, so let's get into AEW. So, well, first of all, let's get into WWE first because AEW is the thing we're going to want to talk about. So, what are your thoughts on WWE now? Since we definitely haven't talked about this since you last been on the podcast. Vince has stepped down. Vince McMahon is gone.
Vince is fired.
Yeah, Vince was fired. And he literally, and the reason I say that, guys, who don't know, listeners, that's how Vince would fire people. And Vince did a lot of fucked up shit. And, he definitely put wrestling on the map, but he's a piece of shit. And so now you got Stephanie, Triple H in charge, and their husband, wife. And so I think things are big. Stars are wanting to come back. People are getting second chances. You're seeing a lot of talent from the past just randomly come back. And then you're hearing people say, I like these matches. I mean, Dave Meltzer, very, very controversial person in wrestling world. He's a blogger, has a magazine, all this shit. But at the end of the day, he's only given out like 5-star matches in like 25, 30 years. And he's gave WWE 2 5-star matches like here recently. He gave Sheamus and the Russian dude, and then he gave a 5-star to another WWE. It wasn't Roman Reigns or anything, but it was like another sad match. Maybe it was with one of the NXT members or something like that. But maybe it was Miz and
no, it wasn't Miz.
No, it was somebody. It was WWE though. Yeah.
No, I think.
But what do you think about the creative there? Do you think it has a chance?
Oh yeah, sure. I mean,
you think people from AEW want to go back?
Yeah, absolutely. Because there's a lot of people that came from NXT that are in AEW now that already worked under Triple H and they like him. So
and people probably feel shelled, some of them.
But it's almost like it'll even things out more. Because it's interesting to have guys going back and forth, whoever they are.
True. Yes.
So like AEW is not going to lose everyone.
No.
Everyone can't go one place. They have more.
Same with WWE.
Yeah, they have more talent than they need right now. AEW. So it's like even if 5 of their guys were to go, which they might lose 4.
Yeah, they're probably. But four big names. These aren't 4 just.
Yeah, but I think WWE's in a good spot because Triple H cares about a lot of the shit that Vince didn't. And
it's easier to come back than be on top, if that makes sense. Like it's easier, like AEW's on top, so it's easier for WWE to kind of be like crawl up and
it depends on how you
try to overcome
it on top. Like our opinions, we like AEW better. Some people would argue that. I just think AEW's like just gives more of a shit. About everything that they do.
And shout out to Eric Bush, by the way. He took me to SummerSlam, and he's a big WWE watcher as well. And so, I've talked to him about, but he loves AEW as well. So he's just a big wrestling fan in general.
I was a big fan of NXT at its peak, before AEW existed. I always thought that was the best show that WWE produced. And Raw and SmackDown, I really didn't care about. I really stopped caring about it. I mean,
shit, when we
5 years ago or so, you know what I mean? And then once AEW started, I really had no reason to care anymore because
were we kind of phasing out of WWE around the time we went to that show at the Yum Center where they had the Cruiserweight show afterwards? Remember?
We went to Raw and it was terrible.
We went to Raw. Raw was awful. Oh my god!
We went to SmackDown too, and that was terrible.
That was terrible. Yep. And you all were close. It was just good because we got so high. But it was just like but we saw a lot of people that night. But it was disappointing. The storylines,
there's just
and they give Kentucky that shit. Like I feel like.
I mean, I just think Vince is just senile. He started forgetting what he was doing every week because there was no continuity to anything. There wasn't any reason to watch. They would just load up their like biggest shows with bigger names. They would only be part-time guys.
What's some of the craziest Vince McMahon stories you've heard?
I mean, recently,
like just in general, like just for over his career, like just let's share a couple of those that could come to what like anything come to your mind?
I mean,
there's a lot of crazy ones.
I guess like everything that's happened the last few months, that's all I can really think about because that's the craziest shit.
Yeah, that's fucked up shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but
Vince basically, for let listeners know that aren't in tune with the wrestling world, I try to keep everybody in loop in this episode that don't like wrestling. Vince, he has basically paid off a lot of women, sexual misconduct. He's cheated. Who knows if he's even been with his wife for years. He's just been a mess, and he's not been a good person. And there's been a lot of misconduct through. He's also like had wrestlers kind of like, do things to be put over. I don't know. He's just not good. He's just shady.
Right. So he lost all his power.
Yeah.
And now he's out of power.
Forced out.
WWE. So Triple H is actually running it. That's not a storyline. That's actually what's really happening in real life.
And his last appearance, really, besides being on the show and kind of saying, I guess his somewhat of a goodbye was he also was a UFC, that one pay-per-view, and that was really awkward because he's just like this, like thumbs up, and then he's just sitting there with fucking what's his face with the fucking podcast, the SmackDown. Yeah, he's sitting there with Triple H, and that was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, whenever he made those appearances on TV, like all the stuff had started to break.
Yeah.
So it was like he was trying to make a statement that like I'm not fucking going anywhere. You know what I mean? But then like everything else broke, and then it's like almost $20 million or something that's paid in company money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like they had to take him. Take him out. I mean, he's 76 years old or some shit, and he just doesn't. He's an out of touch old man.
Yeah, he's definitely out of touch.
I mean, you've seen like Triple H has made some huge changes in like the few times, like the small time that he's been in power, and everything leads to like he cares more about what wrestling fans care about.
Yeah.
That's how AEW's been the whole time they've been in existence. You know what I mean? So it's like now you're gonna have two good wrestling companies actually, giving you something that you want on both sides. I mean, that's never a bad thing.
Now, hear me out on this. I'm all about respecting the legends. I'm all about respecting WWE legends, taking care of them. They all deserve it. They put their bodies on the line, and I love all the legends. But let's get away from that. Like it's not as exciting anymore. These guys can't wrestle. They're horrible on the mic. They're out of touch. People don't even know who they are. And at the end of the day, it brings the product down. I want to watch the current wrestlers. Hey, have a Legends Day once a year. That's cool. Blow it out the ass. Have fucking 50 people. Have Doinks the Clown jumping from a fucking hot air balloon. At the end of the day, just fucking quit it because it's fucking bogus. Nobody gives a shit. And fire fucking Goldberg. Don't ever bring him back. He can't wrestle, and he will harm you. Like
I hate to break it to you, he's coming back for Saudi Arabia, but
they love him over there.
Yeah, but
they love him in Saudi Arabia.
I do think Triple H is going to definitely get away from that.
Yeah,
Triple H cares about all these young guys that he has that he was already using in NXT, and he's like, bringing back all these guys like Karrion Kross and
that's big. That's big name.
He's gonna like Bray Wyatt's supposed to be coming back. Seeing that.
Bray Wyatt's huge. Yeah, I saw that on E-Wrestling.
Yeah, so
rumors. Now it said rumors.
Yeah, but I mean it's pretty much
a sealed deal.
Yeah, I mean
I heard he's dating Liv Morgan.
Oh really?
Yeah, I heard they like live on I'm being serious, like live on a farm together and like have this life, but I don't know if they're still together. But yeah, they met through WWE of course, but then I guess his brother, Bo Dallas, he dates a diva, I guess, as well. So it's kind of like, but I don't know. Like, I just thought that's what I read was that Liv Morgan and him.
Well, I mean, he's about to try to build stars. You know what I mean, and try to make his product
That's really dope.
updated. You know, just like AEW does. You know, like how many stars have they created in like
It's huge.
just 3 years? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they got a nice mix, and they've always used guys like Sting and everything in the right roles. You know, I don't really have a problem with Goldberg being there. Like, the rumor is he's about to have a match with Omos.
Oh, okay.
It's like, if it's a mid-card match, I don't care. You know
I just don't want titles.
Yeah,
I don't want titles on
he
these
should
legends.
they should never be champions.
I don't want any more titles on legends, and I think that needs to be done and be far away from. And at the end of the day, the only legend right now that I would be cool with having a title is John Cena. And I'm not saying that is because like I grew up with him. I just think he has a right to try to go for 17. But if he does it, he needs to stay the fuck away from movies and focus on wrestling. But he doesn't deserve to come. I don't want anyone that's a part-timer winning a title anymore. Yeah, I want Lesnar. I want Lesnar, this shit to calm down him. I like to see him take on mid-cards. I like to see that old school Raw SmackDown where guys are different guys every week, and you got fucking Val Venus fighting fucking Kane, you know, different shit like that. Like,
yeah, I mean,
that'd be cool. Again, that's the shit I would like. I mean, just to see that again. Kind of, I like to see that backstage shit. That's what I miss, like the street fights and like. Remember when they used to walk through the stadium tunnel? Well, I remember playing the old SmackDown games back on the PlayStation, and you would have those matches. You go through like the curtain, and you're walking around. You're throwing the guy into like a popcorn stand or like different shit. So that was kind of cool. And then I remember what was crazy was, you know, probably some of the wildest stuff too that I heard about like Vince McMahon was I heard that back in the day, he would walk in and look at like his writers and creators and force them to eat like ketchup sandwiches and like put ketchup on like bread and fucking eat it just to like see if they do it. And like everybody was so worried about job security, and like he would just do these fucking horrible, crazy things. And then I also heard a rumor that I think like over 95% of the time he's ripped up the storyline every time and changes it, like the day of show.
Yeah,
so everybody's on pins and needles a lot of times.
Yeah, he's got a huge writing staff. Had a huge writing staff.
He's gone.
And then they would work like all night on these, you know, huge raw scripts and like storylines and everything. And then he'd come in the day of, rip them up and write them himself. And then that's why every week just sucked. But you could just tell there was no like enthusiasm put into it. And it was, like I said, I didn't watch a whole lot. You know?
I've been checked out from it.
It was very hard to. You know?
And there's a lot of people I didn't know.
I would keep up with it through other podcasts.
Who is saving it right now? Sami Zayn.
Sami Zayn's hilarious. I mean, I've watched more now since Triple H has taken over since I did in 5 years.
Yeah.
You know, easy. And I'm not all the way invested yet, you know, because there are some, like, it's still hard for Raw being 3 hours. That just
way
sucks.
too long. Kevin Nash called that out. So Kevin Nash was in an interview and he was like, if they narrowed it down to 2 hours, you're going to get the storylines, you're going to focus. He's like, how much can you pump out? And then he's like, you can rotate. He's like, it just makes sense. And he's like, also, how long can people be invested at? He's like, people have fucking busy lives now. 8 to 11? Like, here's the deal. Like, we're podcasting, but here's the thing. This is creative, this is productive, this is for the brands, for the show. You know, it's all good. At the end of the day, like, I'm all about watching a movie. I'm all about chilling with my girl. But at the end of the day, I don't want to sit and watch 3 hours. And unless it's a pay-per-view and it's great. I don't want to watch 3 hours and half of it is the fucking seeing like the fucking bald GM get beat up by fucking Ronda Rousey and like come on. And then I love to like they're still using the shit where they pop out and they're like, what? Oh, get back in the ring. You're gonna be fighting him in a table match, and the crowd's like, holy shit! And like you see, they pan the camera around to all the crowd, and next thing you know, you see people doing this, hitting their heads with like fucking cans. It's just, I don't know. I feel like Triple H, he knows what wrestler wants because he was a wrestler. I loved it. And he also was with Attitude Era. He's been through it all. So I'm ready to see what he can bring to the table. But at the end of the day, before we get into AEW, let's talk about a couple other brands. A brand that has collabed with AEW and NJPW, New Japan Pro Wrestling. It's big over in Japan. Rumor has it, after which we'll get into why he's over there. But Kenny Omega has been seen in Japan. He has been seen with the bite mark on his arm that has been identified in several blog sites of wrestling and has been pretty much discussed on several occasions now here, where I've been reading where they've shown this bite mark on his pretty much on his like right arm, and that was from an AEW incident, which we'll discuss. But at the end of the day, the thing that I about NJPW or NJPW, it sounds crazy saying that. I like that they bring wrestlers to AEW and they bring a lot of guys that are talented. I thought it was pretty interesting too, how they're over in Japan, and a lot of people still don't know that, that brand or, what's going on. But they had like the movie theater debut where they were like in some of the movie theaters with that AEW collab. And so it's kind of cool to see it now taking off. And I think AEW's really helped that brand over here. And they also have US titles over there. Like they kind of do it like we do, where we've had like a European title or, one of the time we had like I think it was a British title or the UK British Bulldog had one. But like at the end of the day, it's like it's pretty cool that I feel like they're kind of trying to cross over here internationally. And then Impact Wrestling, I actually still like watching that when I can catch it, or when I can catch like a pay-per-view or see it on like Fight TV or one of these apps. It's like they're still bringing some good product. They don't have all the talent, but storyline's pretty good.
Yeah, TNA or Impact, it's a miracle. It's a miracle they're still around.
It really is, because of fundings and changes.
They've survived for so long, and I've heard that from a lot of people. I haven't watched in a long time. Whenever Kenny Omega was the champion, and he would come on there sometimes, was the only time that I would really watch. And I never really found myself coming away with really wanting to watch more. But I do hear that from people that their storylines are good and they actually, put a lot of effort in their shows. So, I mean, I always think more wrestling is good.
Yeah.
The better they are, the better, New Japan is, and the better, MLW or any of these other, smaller companies do, the better it is for everybody.
And then Ring of Honor, that's still around right now. That's getting funded by Khan, and and that's a good brand, and that's a historic brand. I'm glad to see some of these brands that have been around for 10 or 20 years still be relevant by funding from people that just love wrestling, because it's like we wouldn't have a lot of the pro wrestlers we have if it wasn't for those brands. And Daniel Bryan went through the Ring of Honor sometimes, CM Punk, Kevin Kevin Owens, I think, so a lot of people have gone through that. And then I think with Impact, the thing I was going to ask you, what's your thoughts on like people like Moose? You like him as a heel, like a heavyweight?
I like Moose.
I like him on the mic too.
He kind of, yeah, I've heard some good promos from him. He kind of is just like in that position where sometimes it gets boring for me, like a Braun Strowman.
Yeah.
Where you're just like like a monster, and you're just big.
Monster among men. Yeah.
I don't know. Because a lot of times it's like when you have somebody like that, like Braun Strowman, where do you go at some point? What I mean? Like the Big Show, he got to a point where like, all right, once you've been a champion or whatever, where do you go from there? Like you're gonna be a dominant, like Andre the Giant was champion for years.
Oh my gosh, so long.
So like,
And he probably shouldn't even been wrestling.
That's the way he's supposed to do that, you know? Like,
yeah, at some point.
But I feel like they usually climb a ladder and they get up to the top, and then you have somebody that's conquering the baby face that's like the David versus Goliath thing.
Yeah. Which has been used.
Once you have that, then once you get beat, then where do you go from there? So I don't know, like
because Big Show was so dominant for so long, and like what I mentioned about Andre the Giant, I think he got to a point where he probably should have been wrestling. Like he got so old and out of shape, but it's like he was so dominant, so big, so it's like people loved him internationally too, and but Big Show, man, like the WCW to WWE transfer and like just how dominant he stayed, and he stayed undefeated. I mean, he's almost like Goldberg with his streak, and then he comes in and it's like he has that punch, he has that choke slam, and when he was so lean, oh my gosh, he's scary. Right. He's a beast.
Yeah, he was a big dude, but even they just kind of fall into that category where all they do is just like roar, and scream, and then that's all they do. And then they power slam people, and
it's weird.
It's like very one dimensional, Like I'm more of a fan of wrestlers that are great promos and great in ring, great all around. You know what I mean? So whenever I see someone like that, it's kind of boring to me.
Yeah.
But
I totally with you, man. Because at the end of the day, I'm into, I don't know. I like the heavyweights from back in the day of like you said, like Big Show, Kane, Undertaker. Of course, I grew up on them, but I do like seeing a heavyweight match and like some big guys go at it. But it does get to a point where it kind of undersells them once they get beat by certain people. And Big Show's been embarrassed a lot, and Big Show's been in some storylines and gimmicks, which they've been hilarious, and they've helped wrestling, like him and Eddie Guerrero, a lot of embarrassing stuff, for Big Show, the shitting and the, all that shit. But it's like he also he's a legend, and like he's had a great career, but I kind of like when I saw him go to AEW, I was like, dude, why don't you just do announcing, man, or just kind of just be there to help out, because you're kind of, you're not relevant anymore. Like you don't look good in the ring. Like him and Colt Cabana fighting, that was weird.
It's awkward. Yeah, but
so speaking on Colt Cabana. That is such a good way to transition.
What's that name? CM Punk.
Yeah, that name is a bad name. That guy is in CM Punk's interview box for sure. He is, or interview box, excuse me, I'm high. His email box, because right now there is some fucking crazy shit going on. So the last time I saw Frankie, which shout out to Jenny and Frankie. Hi, Jenny.
Hi, Jenny. Hi, Will. Hi, Aaron.
Yes, hi to the kiddos. Uncle Slee says, what's good? So, Jenny and Frankie, they always host an amazing wrestling party. Even if Jenny's not present, she got some food and snacks presented. They got a great setup in the kitchen. I always appreciate Frankie's hospitality. And at the end of the day, he hits me with some text like about 5 hours before, because he knows I'm hyped. He knows I'm excited to come over that night. And the reason this night was all out, AEW pay-per-view. And I was like, bro, what's going down? And he's like, dude, I'm going to, we'll have some food. But he's like, bro, doing I love that name, Undertakers. And then what was the other name?
Sasha Franks.
Sasha Franks, yeah. So I was trying to tell Gabrielle earlier, I was like, what the fuck was the other name? And I love that name. So the names are creative. I got real excited.
The crossface chicken wings.
Oh yeah, the crossface chicken wings, which, oh my gosh, they're so good. I was about to shout that rest, but I don't think I can. So yeah. So anyways, I don't want to be thrown off the podcast. That's a little. We'll get to the dark side of the ring here in a little while, because like I said, we got a lot to talk about wrestling. If you're down, let's go. So here's the thing. I will say this about AEW. I came up. We'll finish about the party prep. So we had all this spread. Food was great. We get to drink hike. We're starting to watch All Out. It's great. But I heard before the show, and I mentioned to Frankie that there's some real beef going on. There's some real controversy going on. I've heard, and he heard it too. And then even Tony Khan, who owns AEW and runs it, he says, yeah, it's good for wrestling, like when a couple guys hate each other. So at the end of the day, a lot of, wrestling back in the day, you separate your heels and good guys. Some people still believe in that. Al Snow, who runs OVW here in Louisville, the local minor league wrestling, shout out to OVW and Al Snow. He's shaking the head. But anyway, so Al Snow, he separates his wrestlers. The heels have to be separated from the good people. They still talk, but they can't be doing that at the events. That back in the day, everybody would be separated. Well, now wrestlers are playing video games. They're beating the shit out of each other. Then afterwards, they're playing each other in NBA 2K or Madden. But AEW, some people like each other, but there's a lot of personalities. There's a lot of controversies. So shit went fucking down at All Out. So, do you want to open up with what went down first?
Yeah. Okay, so basically for months before, there kept on, there were all these stories coming out from different reporters about Punk getting Colt Cabana fired or wanting to get Colt Cabana fired.
Yeah.
And him and Colt Cabana have a long history together. They used to be friends, and then they were on a podcast. They were sued by the WWE, and they,
Is that why the podcast is dismantled?
Yeah, it pitted them against each other. So they were in court against each other and against WWE. So
now that's the one thing I wanted to figure out, because I heard it kind of, in his interview. I knew Colt Cabana as a wrestler in AEW.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he looked really goofy in the leotard. I thought he was a good fundamental wrestler, but at the end of the day, I was kind of like, he don't really bring anything to the table.
Yeah.
He's just a name, and I did hear his I've listened to his podcast. I think you've shared it with me before, but at the end of the day, I didn't know anything about this until kind of this happened. And what I was going to ask you is, if CM Punk, like, what was the beef in the lawsuit? Like, what separated them to make them go against each other if WWE was the one suing them? Money?
I really don't know. I just know that Punk said he was paying for Colt Cabana's lawyers, and he was paying for his legal fees, and eventually he didn't anymore.
And then it went south.
Yeah, but it's just.
Do you believe it?
Even
as a fan of CM Punk,
he says he has receipts. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
I gotta, I believe what he's saying, but like the fight.
Do you think Colt Cabana's like sketchy? I mean, do you know much about him as a wrestler? I don't know
Everybody
much
likes
about him.
Everybody likes him.
I heard he was a nice guy.
Everybody likes him. I don't know if it's about being sketchy. I just believe, he didn't have the money Punk had.
Well, clearly people like him, because if this is still relevant and he wasn't even like a big name, this is kind of like, a big deal.
I just think he probably didn't have the money Punk had.
He needed help.
Yeah.
Which you help friends.
So, but I think eventually they fell out.
Ain't he big in Chicago?
Both of them are.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Colt is like.
Yeah.
So here's the thing about CM Punk too. Like that night he has a huge match with Jon Moxley. He beats Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley had a savage beating of him, won the title, delivered a fucking, he's been delivering some fucking crazy promos. He's a beast. But CM Punk beat him. He won the title.
But he
got hurt. So again, the title be gone, right?
He was already hurt after the match was over, which is why I think he probably did what he did.
Yeah. And then they're going to do a tournament for the title. And then the other thing about it is so pretty much what happened was, after the match, CM Punk gets on the promo thing where all the wrestlers get interviewed and shit. And he talks about Colt Cabana thing. Then he calls out fucking Adam Page and basically says, you're a fucking idiot, jackass, motherfucker, dumb fuck. And at the end of the day, my locker room's open at all times. You can come in. Then he's like, and also for the people the what do you call them?
EVPs.
He's like the EVPs that don't know shit or dumb as fuck. You know where I'm at. And so that pissed off Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks because they're like, fuck you, motherfucker. Like, you think you're hot shit. So he goes in his thing. He's got, what's his name? What's his boy? Ethan. What's his boy that bit?
No, Ace Steel.
Ace Steel. So Ace Steel, who's a producer on the show and like a creative director, CM Punk's boy, they get into a fucking fight. He fucking bites Kenny Omega's fucking arm. He bites it right on his fucking forearm. Fucking bite mark on his arm like Jaws. And the fucking Kenny's in Japan right now, not even covering that shit up. They fucking brought him back as a producer. Like, bro, it's cool. You bit somebody, no big deal. Come on back. Just don't fucking bite.
No, he ain't back.
No, they brought him back, I heard. I heard he like got released from suspension. He's like the only one that. Maybe the bite was too. Maybe I read that wrong. Hey, fuck that blog site. I read it wrong.
He might be fine. We just don't know the details yet.
Well, he bit Kenny. Kenny's in Japan getting treated for that fight.
Kenny's saving a dog. Kenny's getting CM Punk's puppy. They're not puppy. His dog Larry. He's getting his dog Larry out of harm's way. That's what Kenny Omega was doing. And they still pulled his hair and bit him and threw a chair at one of the fucking Young Bucks and hit him in his eye. And they said he got a black eye.
Oh, he's definitely done. I don't know. I have to look it up. Supposedly somebody said he was out clear. I was like, this don't seem right. Here's the thing too. He's back in Punk. They go in there. There's clearly a fight. Supposedly punches are also been thrown. But and we're connected.
All the stories say CM Punk threw the first punch.
I believe that. I believe that all day.
So like, yeah, all day.
Because he was looking for that shit. Pissed. Yeah.
But he just said, if y'all want to talk, come find me.
That was kind of like fucking crazy to me because he was so brave. And then I'm gonna be honest with you. I think I told you this tonight at the pay-per-view. I can't take it watching it sometimes. I cringe. I like a horror movie. I feel it in my body. Kenny Omega's fast suplex is horrible. I'm not calling that guy out. I don't give a fuck if he shitted in my bed. Bro, I'll change the sheets. You ain't back suplexing me in this fucking locker room, bro. My neck is sore already watching that. And I see Kenny walking in there and going, all right, Punk. And then Punk's like, hey, man. And he just keeps trying to go to his back. Like, if I'm Kenny, anybody, that old dude, Ace Steel, like, I'm popping around his back, like, hey, bro. And then he's like, I can just see him bite.
Apparently, the order of events is they come fucking barging into this door, right? It's CM Punk, it's Ace Steel, and Ace Steel's wife, who's got like a broken foot or something. And then CM Punk's dog, Larry. That's who's in the room.
Larry.
That's who's in the room.
Larry's loyal.
All right.
Larry is so loyal.
So then.
Oh wait, shout out to your dog. On
Jazz.
Yeah, shout out to Jazz. Dude, Jazz don't get no love on the podcast.
Sorry,
yeah, you didn't say it in the family shout out. You're naming all the kids and the girl. Shout out to Jazz.
Jazz, my bad. All right, so.
I remember when Jazz with her cats. Remember that shit? That was funny as fuck. Jazz be like, get the fuck out of here, bitch. All those cats. Jazz be like, you be like, she just heard. It taught me so much. I would watch it. I'd be high, so I'd be like, we watching wrestling. He's like, get the fuck out of the living room. Frankie's allergic to you. It's my time. Eric's over. Get out. Jazz come over to me like, don't pet the cat. I'm like, sorry, I'm out. But anyway, so okay, back to see fucking locker room.
Yeah, that's who's in the locker room.
That's a lot of people.
No, it's Punk Ace Steel.
No, that's a lot of people in the locker room. How big do you think these locker rooms are?
And a little ass dog.
Now, real quick okay, I'm getting real deep. I gotta ask you a question because you know more about a lot of this stuff. These arenas are all different in different sizes. Yeah. Why does each wrestler get like how many locker rooms are in these fucking places? Are they getting like? Are they clearing out a broom closet? They're like Kenny Omega's, and he's in there like playing video games, and he's like, He's like, fuck, somebody left a mop in here.
I think it's just extra rooms they just got. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I just had to ask that.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I don't know. It is weird that you would think it just feel like
Sorry, it's
a
like
big-ass
it's
locker
been on
room.
my mind, man. Like, I'm like, how many rooms are here?
So anyways, all the elite, everybody. Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, fucking
God,
Michael Nagasawa, I think Christopher Daniels was there.
Oh my gosh.
And one of another like
well, he's
vice
personnel,
presidents.
right? What's Christopher Daniels doing now? He's like personnel, right?
Yeah. And then like another like woman that's like a president, right?
Oh my god.
Right. So they're all coming.
That's fucked up.
So like, all right, if that's who's coming with you, you think they're trying to fight?
No.
Right. So they
Especially
come,
with
they
Christopher
come like
Daniels.
knock on the door, right? Let me in. They let him in. CM Punk just throws. He starts swinging. All right. This is how it went. CM Punk starts swinging as soon as he sees one of the Young Bucks, and then fucking Ace still throws a chair at the other Young Buck.
Oh my god.
Kenny Omega then grabs the little dog.
What?
The old dog. Larry's old.
He's trying to protect him, right?
He's trying to get him out of the room. Ace still grabs him by the hair, pulls him, and then when he grabs back, he bites him on his arm. And he bites him. That's the chain of events. And then it just from there, it's like everyone's getting it split up. You know what I mean?
What do you
Punk hit one of the Young Bucks, and then Ace still threw a chair at the other one. Well, Ace still just said he was outnumbered, so he was trying to help.
Well, let's do
Punk said he felt like there was going to be a fight, so he had to swing.
Okay. Okay. Let's do a little role play real quick. You're CM Punk and I'm Tony Khan. Okay. And I'm in my little office. Okay, at the arena.
Yeah.
And I'm just on the computer. Ratings looking real good. We're doing real great. Oh, hey, what's up, Punk?
Hey, Tony. Hangman, he's a fucking dipshit.
Bro, we heard.
He doesn't know anything.
All right, listen.
Yeah,
I heard you on the promo.
The EVPs, they can't fucking manage a target. They can't do shit.
I get it. But let me ask you.
Hey, how much you paying me?
Oh, I mean, I've already
$5 million.
It's already been ACH.
Yeah.
So I just want to tell you real quick. No, you got the deposit right. You're still banking at U.S. Bank, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we're good. Okay, anyways, here's what I want to talk to you about. Yeah. I heard you on the thing at the end. Clearly, I was sitting by you, and I just want to say, like, you were kind of going off, and I just want to make sure, like, you can make up with those guys, and like, I just want to move on. Like, we got a big show Wednesday, and okay,
we passed apologies.
Okay, I talked to my dad tonight, and he gave me some more money, and he's like, keep these guys in line. So what did you do wrong?
Huh?
Dude.
Well, what?
Don't fucking tell me that you did something.
Well, listen, I'm out 6 to 9 months because I'm hurt real bad.
Where are you hurt?
Again.
Oh my God. I mean, should we get you a body cast?
It was my foot.
Should we get you a body cast?
Look, I tore my whole fucking pec.
I call it the Chicago
I tore my whole pec just like Cody Rhodes did.
Cody,
you said you missed Cody.
I want to be honest.
So I tore my pec just like him. So now I'm out 6 to 9 months.
Listen, I'm really mad, but I can't stop laughing. But I'm really pissed off. Okay.
And I'm really hurt. But I can't stop laughing.
Well, listen, I'm tired of you always getting hurt. You don't ever ice it. You don't ever stretch.
Hey, but that contract's guaranteed, right?
Oh. That's all I hear. Contract. John Moxley came in here and he fucking hit me with the staple gun. I'm fucking over this shit. So I want to be honest with you right now. I need you not to fight the Young Bucks or Kenny Omega, and I need you to keep your boy from biting. I heard he tried to bite MJF. Well. Listen.
I got it. Hey, no fighting. I got it. Yeah. Make sure that check don't bounce. All right.
Punk. Wait. Before you step out. Wait. What is that? Kenny's arm's bleeding. Who threw the first punch? What? Who? Punk? Did you throw the first punch?
Are they lying to the data sheets again? Are they spreading rumors through the dirt sheets again?
Well, this is code. This is code on the phone.
What?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to mention his name. It's code though. He said that. What you said?
It's who?
He said you're in collections. You owe $3,200 to his lawyer.
We don't speak his name.
Okay.
I thought I told you.
CC.
Get rid of him.
CC, you're fired. Punk, go handle him. But no, I just thought, I can't believe what transpired. And to be honest, it's such a real thing. And it's such a fucking crazy fucking gimmick. And at the end of this shit, I was fucking dying because I'm reading this and I'm like, they're like, one of the young bucks has black eye. And I was like, oh my God, this is real. Like, I was like, poor Nick. You know, like, I'm over here hurt. I'm like, no, not Nick. And then fucking Kenny getting bit is just crazy. But the other thing.
You seen the picture of Ace too?
He's, what do you mean? What picture?
You see what it looks like?
No, I haven't seen it.
It's a nut job.
Oh, see, I've seen his picture. I've seen him like on the promos.
Yeah.
He's weird. You know what's weird too? When they were in Nashville, and they were like filming in this area where it kind of was familiar, and it was weird because they were like in a parking lot, and I felt like Ace was kind of just like pacing around him, and I was like, this is real weird. But the thing about it too is, I wanted to ask you, is there other people having like real beefs in AEW that we're not thinking of?
Eddie Kingston and Sammy Guevara had a real beef.
What is that over?
So Eddie Kingston was mad because Sammy Guevara didn't clear some of his promo material with him.
Oh,
and
shit.
He called him a fat piece of shit or something like that. So, like, yeah, Sammy said, fuck it. And he said,
sorry, Eddie.
He said, you fat piece of shit. Eddie, get this. Didn't like that.
No, not Eddie.
He didn't like it.
I'm dying.
So when he came back to the curtain, Eddie met him and pie faced him.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Pie faced him?
Like,
Oh my
just like
gosh. Poor Eddie, man. Like,
so they got suspended for fighting in the back.
And then
now they got a match on Friday.
Well, did you hear that him and Tay Conti went to Brody Lee's son's Little League game on their suspended day off?
I didn't know.
And then they got typed up by Brody Lee's one. They are real. Real legendary people.
That's sweet, but it's almost real like they're heels though, so it kind of rings like.
Well, people are like FaceTime. Like it's gonna be a change.
It better be because that's disingenuous. That's not right.
What do you want him to do? Burn the Little League game down? Fucking steal the ball? Sammy's like, I got the baseball. But, what do you think of Tay Conti? Do you think she's a talent?
I mean, I haven't really seen enough of the matches. I mean, most of the time it's like.
She got beat up by that bare knuckle girl,
bad,
right?
You know what I mean? She I think.
Who's the bare knuckle girl, the blonde hair girl everybody's hyped about? Olivia or Paige Van Zandt?
Oh, yeah.
She beat up Tay on that one pay-per-view right down the ramp.
Mean, I think Tay, like, most of her matches are tag matches or she's with Sammy. So it kind of hides a lot of what she does. You know? I haven't seen a lot of her singles matches to really judge her, but she's good enough, Like, AEW, their women's division isn't the best.
Yeah. They got the bunny.
I'm not.
They got the bunny. They got what happened to Penelope Ford?
She's back.
Is she back?
She was hurt for a little while.
You remember when she dated Joey Janela?
Yeah, now she's with Kip Sabian.
Are they still together?
He's back.
And then Kip's got that new promo. What is he, a robot?
No, he just put a bag over his face. Like, he was like underrated and underappreciated and shit.
He just misses that dude I texted you about, the Helter Skelter guy. What's his fucking name? The fight that beats the shit out of everybody. Bloody weapons. His old tag partner in AEW. The guy got suspended for sexual. Got fired because all the Me Too movement.
Jimmy Havoc?
Yeah. He misses Jimmy. That's why he's got a bag on his head. He's like, bring back Jimmy. I watched Jimmy in a match. Jimmy fought somebody, and then there are some weird wrestlers out there, like their promos. I started watching. I got real high, dug into a lot of wrestling YouTube. Like I got into some fucking. Like my fucking eyes were dry as fuck. But anyways, I got into this deep wrestling YouTube, and I'm like watching this match, and it's like some hardcore match, and this fucking dude comes out, and he's like in a fucking Halloween costume, like a ghost costume or something. He walks out, playing this like creepy music. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I don't know where he takes the ghost thing off. All these weapons and shit. He's just beating the shit out of the other guy. And I was like, I don't know what I think about this shit, man. Like my buddy Sean P, shout out to Sean P. He refs all these hardcore matches. He be sending me shit. These guys beat the fuck out of each other. And I don't think the paychecks are that big. That shit hurts.
No, it's not.
I saw a guy do like a double flip and land on his neck. And I texted Sean P and I said, how's he walking? And Sean P's like, oh, it's safe. That ain't safe, Sean.
You know the fuck this shit guy?
Fuck that shit. Hey, no, wait. I'll have to start over. What's his name though? What's his name?
I have
It's
no idea.
wait. Super. This is super human. Hey, what's up? This is Superhuman, and I'm here today, and I'm going to jump on top of Legos, cactuses, and a ladder. Don't try this at home, Joey Janela style. Fuck this shit! Outside my phone. He's like, I'm dying. He's crazy, bro.
He says, woo woo.
Yes. Woo woo. Oh, dude,
man.
that guy. What do you think about his career, man?
His career?
No, not that guy. That guy's a shit show. I don't want to be anywhere. I don't want to discuss him at all. I was sad you brought him up, bro.
I was like, why you want to give him so much props?
This ain't before you're famous
His
on
career.
YouTube. No, I don't want to talk
He better
about
be making a lot of fucking money.
bro. He's Joey's home. Like I know I just mentioned Joey Nello because we talked about Penelope before, but he supposedly he's friends with them and he's friends with another hardcore
So you
wrestler.
asking me about Joe Janela's career?
No. I'm asking you about what's his fucking
his career?
No, the dude that's independent going around taking on all these people, winning titles.
I don't know what you're talking about.
They got after him. Okay, he was in WWE and he was like, woo woo. He was Zack Ryder. I went so blank on his name. Yeah.
Okay, my bad, bro. All I could think about when you kept saying whoop whoop was that fucking kid that's jumping on everything. I'm like, what do you? I'm just like,
I thought
once you get to that part, I was like, I'm losing you every time.
You asked me over and over that I said, whoop whoop. And you looked at me, you said, bro, you tried twice to guess who it was. And then the third time when I said, whoop whoop, you looked at me stone faced as fuck. Like, I felt like you were mad. You said, bro, I don't know who you're talking about. I was like, oh, I'm embarrassed. And I was like, we're live right now. I was like, bro, please guess it. And I was like, WWE, whoop whoop. And you're like, oh. I swear, I was like, fuck. He's got to know who this is. And then I'm like, I can't know who this is. And I'm like, spiky hair, whoop whoop. But dude, he has a huge toy collection of WWE figurines with that other dude. And I was watching his shit, and then he took off. He's been taking off with that, supposedly making money. He like has figurines that are worth like hundreds of thousands, and then he has this huge wrestling career. But what's crazy to me is I feel like he's all this hype. Like, I feel like he wants to be signed, but he keeps acting like he wants to be independent. I'm like, bro, what do you want, dude? I mean, I don't know what he's going to end up doing. Because he can't keep just popping up in promotions. Is that what he's going to do?
He's killing it. Because like, you got to think.
He is killing it.
He's got like probably one of the biggest names that does that. As far as jumps around and does independent shows and everything.
He lost a match.
They get paid a lot. Especially when you do multiple shows a week. You know what I mean? Like, you can't make as much as you would make on any big company if you do that continuously and keep on just getting paid from different places.
He dates a girl from Impact, I think, right now.
Yeah.
Chelsea. She's like mentally ill. I think on her like gimmick. No, not real life. Not real life. Not real life. Your reaction? No, not real life. She,
I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, damn.
No.
Damn, Sleazy.
No, not Zack Ryder. Zack Ryder, please don't beat me up. But no, I'm saying like but I was saying she's like her character's mentally ill. Child's mentally ill, man. I'm trying to keep it real. The mentally ill, I love y'all, man. Hey, let me know. I'm dying. So let me tell a story. Okay, for real. And a real talk, let me say this. I was talking about her wrestling character, not her real life. Also, shout out to the mentally ill. I'm not gonna. I see some crazy shit every day, and I have to share this story because I want to be honest with you. I can't believe this really happened the other day. So I have a worker for me, and I allow him to hire his own people. He's a contractor, and he hires a bunch of subcontractors. So I show up to a job site the other day, and he looks at me and he says, "Hey man," he's like, "I got people working for me, and this dude, like big old dude, he's huge, and he's like 400 pounds, like 6'5", big old guy. His name's Bubba." And, and this guy shows up talking shit and is like, "Hey, fuck you, Bill." Like the guy that's running the crew, he's like, "Fuck you, I'll beat the shit out of you. Like you stole my crew members." And Bill's like, "You need to calm down and leave this job site." And the guy's like, "I said, fuck you, get the fuck out of here." He's like, I need my crew members back. I'm gonna beat the shit out of you, Bill." And this dude's all young and crazy. Bill's like old as shit. He's like, "I'm just trying to work." He's real religious. He hires like special needs people and has people work for him. So this dude Bubba's like 6'5", about 450. He looks at Bill, and everybody's just looking at him. He goes, "You want me to?" Hold on, I can do the voice. "You want me to smash him, Mr. Mueller?" And Bill goes, "No, don't smash him." He goes, "I'd smash him, Mr. Mueller." The guy goes, "I'll get out of here." He leaves and he goes, "Bubba, calm down." And Bubba was about to smash this guy, but the way he acted, he said, "I'd smash him, Mr. Mueller." And he's like, "What?" And then I'm like, "It's crazy." So I'm telling you, I see some crazy shit in my job, bro. I see some crazy shit, but I was dying, dude. I was sorry. I was crying right there. That was gold. But I don't know why I went on that thought. Sorry. But so Chelsea Green. So back to the rest of Chelsea Green. I knew they were together, but that's why I said that comment. But so let me ask you this. So the thing I was going to ask you is, what is your favorite pay-per-view of all time that you remember, like, in your favorite match from that pay-per-view? Because I feel like I remember mine.
I mean, what is like? I guess WrestleMania 17 is like the main, it's like the most talked about. You know,
Yeah.
in hindsight. I mean, I really loved All Out from last year. When Adam Cole debuted, and Bryan Danielson debuted at the end, and seeing
That was
his
dope.
first match. But I mean, there's
That
a
was
lot.
dope.
I don't know. There's a lot that are really good. It's WrestleMania 25 with Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. I think it was, or
I don't think WrestleMania 20 got.
Yeah.
20 at Madison Square Garden.
Oh yeah.
It was amazing.
Yeah. Or WrestleMania 30 with Daniel Bryan. You know him. You know, doing what he did.
Which he just.
That was when Undertaker.
That gave you chills, man. That gave you
Undertaker's streak was broke too. So it was like a
big night.
But
WrestleMania 20 just I brought up because I'm high. I just realized this. You know who's opened that first match? John Cena, Big Show. Ain't that crazy? They opened the pay per view, John Cena and Big Show, and John Cena punched him with brass knuckles. That's crazy to think about. That he went. Now he's like 16-time champ, all this stuff. He didn't even have a world title then. He was U.S. champion.
They fought whenever we saw.
Yeah, oh my! I brought that up today.
Yeah.
Broadbent Arena. Threw him in the cage. Yeah. I yelled at Finley, and then get the shillelagh, Finley. And he's like, "Hey, what's up, buddy?" Like, I don't know if he said it like that, but he was like, he just waved. He didn't say much.
I'm sure he said it.
That'd be awesome. But then I didn't see. Oh, you know who else we saw that night? Was his name Tatanka? The dude that had all the, I butchered his name. The dude that had all the writing on his head, he changed his name. We kept calling him Al. Or
he's
Albert. We kept calling him Albert.
Yeah. Prince Albert.
He wouldn't look at. We're like, Prince Albert. So he went out there, bro. He was a really good wrestler. Like, he pretty fundamental beast. But his gimmick, man, was bad. Yeah. Especially even his Albert. Like that tight shirt gimmick.
It didn't matter which. All of his characters were terrible.
What are some of the worst characters you can even think of? Some of them. I go back to that fucking. Remember that street group that wore the vests back in early WWE days? Like the three guys, they'd always be street fighting. They had the best. I can't think of what their fucking names are. They hold on real quick. WWE best trio. What a Google search. But no, they were like this group. They were like these street fighters, and they would and then I remember APA back in the day.
APA was great.
Yeah, they were really good. But the street fight, I'm trying to think of those people. They were just awful. I hated the Spirit Squad.
I mean, some of the worst, like Mordecai, remember that?
That was awful. That got canceled quick.
There was a lot of things that was terrible that they did. Like Fandango.
He got over for a little while.
I think it was more his theme song. You like his theme song. There you go, fuck about him.
The thing that's awesome is like when I'll have to look the Mean Street Posse. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh, you should have said with Shane.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So they were awful. And then what about fucking Pat? What about the old guys that used to hang out?
Pat Patterson and Gerald Briscoe.
Briscoe was so dumb.
They just got their ass whooped every single week. And two old dudes just get stunned. Stone Cold just come down and stun you and fucking get you cover you in fucking beer every fucking week.
Just stomp you out.
Stomp your
Here's
ass
the best part. I remember a fucking The Rock. He's sitting there and because I always say I dig into dressing YouTube. He's sitting there behind the scenes and he's just watching. And I don't know where a limo pulls up. It's fucking Gerald Briscoe. It's like Tori. And it's fucking it's fucking X-Pac and fucking Road Dogg. Out of nowhere, The Rock's like, "You punk ass!" And then next thing you know, fucking Gerald runs off with the hardcore title, and there goes Tori, and he's beating the Rock is beating the fuck out of X-Pac and Road Dogg, throws him into the semi. I swear to you, I don't think X-Pac protected himself, bro. His head went so flying into the semi. I was like, bro's done. He's just laying there. Rock goes chasing. Next thing you know, Gerald Briscoe's running around. And he goes, "Where's Triple H? Where's Triple H?" That's for us how Gerald Briscoe talked. He's like, "The Rock's looking for us, The Rock." And then, dude, The Rock was just sitting there behind the mini bar. He's just watching. He ended up just beating the shit out of Triple H. But I used to love the Elimination Chamber matches.
Yeah, I think they were really good back in the day.
Remember when Kane threw Chris, or who was it that threw Chris Jericho through glass?
I mean,
was that Kane?
Goldberg speared him through it.
That was him speared Chris Jericho, right?
Yeah, I mean,
they had real beef though.
Yeah, backstage.
Like he beat the shit. I heard Chris Jericho beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, he won apparently.
Yeah, I heard that fucking I heard if you fucked up backstage, that like Undertaker punched, but like I didn't hear all the wrestling courts. Like I wonder if there was some fucked up verdicts.
I mean, they don't talk about it much. They keep them like
Hush hush.
but like it's I'm sure it'll be a hilarious story to hear all of them.
Oh yeah.
Because, you know, if Undertaker wanted to tell them all. But back to the backstage beefs, since we're on the subject, what do you think should happen now in AEW after these fights?
I think, in my opinion, I do like that. The only thing that pisses me off, I feel like number one is Tony Khan was hypocritical because you're hyping up real beefs before the pay per view. You like it. You enjoy having that in your company. No, you don't, dumbass. And at the end of the day, I mean, I'm not saying he's a dumbass, but it's like, come on, bro. Like you're dumbass in this moment. At the end of the day, I think the tournament's a great idea. CM Punk needs to give up the title. I'm sorry, great title win, great run. You're a legend. You did in Chicago, but dude, you got to get your body together. You're injury prone. You got to fucking do some biotechnic shit. You got to fucking drink some body armor. You need to fucking hydrate, get some liquid IV, maybe use some CBD oil, something, because you're falling apart. I love you, man, but you're falling apart. And also, I'll call him CC from now on for you. But here's the thing. I think Punk, give up the title, have a tournament, give the best guys, most deserving guys that need to get that title, and make it fucking fun, and get a title going, and then we fucking get back to normal. Now, the tag team. There's so many great fucking tag teams in AEW. Literally, I think that there's so many tag teams that also deserve the title shot, the title run. I'm just saying. I know it sounds like such an easy cop out. Tournament. Do a fucking tournament. I'd love to see a quick tournament, but here's the thing. I don't want it to be. I want the fucking big title, the Punk title. I want that to be fucking long. Like I want that to be the tag. Make it a week or two. Like you fight this week and then next week and then the other
What do you
shit.
think should happen behind the scenes?
Well, here's first. What I was gonna say to finish this. I think Kenny Omega. I think, or no, excuse me. From the CM Punk side, I think CM Punk and I think Ace Steel. I think Ace Steel should be fired. At the end of the day, he should be fired. You don't bite anybody. That's not cool. You don't bite anybody in your personal life, your business life, whatever. CM Punk, I think he needs to get his body healed up and stuff like that. But here's the thing. I think he needs to have an open conversation with the locker room when he gets back. And he needs to address the whole locker room. And number one, he needs to say this. Does anyone have a problem with me? Let's talk. And then everybody raises up and he's like, I want to be cool, squash his beefs, come back. If he can't squash his beefs and he's going to come back with a chip on his shoulder, I get it. You're not going to like everybody, but I think he needs to step away from AEW and just call it quits. Here's the other thing. He's done his thing. He made his mark. He's part of AEW history. Move the fuck on. Second thing, you got so back to the tag team. I think it should go to the titles. I think though when it gets to the elite, I think Kenny Omega, I think he should definitely be suspended. And I think the Young Bucks should definitely be suspended because they went to that room. I don't give a fuck if you threw first punch or not. You went to the room for a fight. You went there to fight shit. But we don't even know what's true in the story. So I think they should be suspended, but I think they should be allowed back, but not allowed to for the title for a little bit. They need to feel a little punishment. But I think too, a locker room meeting needs to happen. Everybody needs to get together and they squash this shit or move on and like say, hey, who fucks with who and got beef, whatever, and move on. And then Tony needs to really fucking like watch his word. And also, I think the legends need to step up. You know, Jericho, like speak the fuck up. You know, there's real legends there behind the scenes. Mark Henry's there. Like,
well, they have.
Yeah.
They said that like Jericho, Moxley, and Brian Danielson all like started taking like a leadership role ever since all this happened.
Good, because Jericho is he has some controversy. You know, there's a lot of things I don't like about him. There's a lot of things I love about him, and he, I don't know, he needs to step up because this is really his company as well. He's been there since day one. He's done big shit. He was the first champion. Like, he has the figurine. He's part of the brand. Like, he's a legend. You know, people remember Jericho forever. So it's like he has to step up why he's doing this because, in my opinion, if I go to AEW as a wrestler, and it don't matter if I'm just like small shit, I want to be able to go approach Jericho and be like, yo, hey, what the fuck do I do? Like, you don't gotta hang out with me your number. Just tell me what the fuck I need to do. Like, okay, you need to do this shit, or like, fucking talk to this person. And I've heard a lot of secrets too. I think the cool thing about wrestling, it's all about respect. I love to hear the stories through OVW. I've heard from like 3 superstars. I don't know if they still do it, but I've heard this is in some promotions. When you get there and help set up the ring. You get there, like set up shit. You talk, whatever. You do your thing. You separate. But then at the end of the day, like you're supposed to go up and shake everybody's hand. Like even if you fucking like, hey, what's up? Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up? And then and it's at a point where it's like, I've heard if you don't do that, or if you get called out for respect, you get thrown in the ring and chopped. Like chops are pretty big punishment.
Yeah, yeah. I think Punk's gone.
You did?
I think he's gone.
Fired or quit?
One way or the other. I just think he's gone because I think Ace Steel's definitely gone. He's not gonna be happy about that.
He's not gonna go back to WWE, will he?
I don't think so.
Because Triple H don't want that.
I don't think so.
His body's too. I think he's done with wrestling. Like,
I mean, yeah, like the only way I see him coming back is if he has a complete change of attitude.
Yeah.
And he drops his ego a little bit, and he really wants to like work with these people.
But see, I think the only reason I don't think he's done in general, like with wrestling in the world, the only reason I say that is, don't you see him as a guy that like 3 years from now, if he didn't wrestle, he just shows up at a fucking pay-per-view, the fucking arena could literally explode.
Yeah, for sure.
But does he want that anymore? Is he done? I mean, I know he loves it, but it's like, is he done?
I don't think he loves that enough
to come back
to overcome the shit that he hates. You know what I mean? I think he's just, I don't know. I don't think he's ever happy.
Because I mean, dude, you just won the title in Chicago. You should be a little happy.
All this could be avoided if they just had like he'd been bad for months apparently. You know what I mean? There had been this like backstage shit going on for months, and he was so pissed off for that long, but doesn't go and have the conversation with anybody. Nobody has a conversation with each other, even though there's all this backstage like heat on each other. But like then you finally win your title and you go to the media scrum and then you just air it all out. Like to me, that's just
bullshit.
Yeah, that's just childish shit. Like, why would you do that? You know what I mean? Like, you're just hurting a company.
Well, what bothers me too about it is, at the end of the day, I'm confused about why. The thing that really bothers me is like, why does it come down to, like I don't know, it's like your big night and you just explode and you like it ruined everything. Like it ruined the pay-per-view, and then I'm like disappointed because it's like, yes, we get you an injury. I get you're triggered, but I don't know. It's like it put a bad taste in my mouth, and I respect him, but I'm like I'm kind of at a point where you get to a point where like like when you have a friend who's just the most negative fucking person, or like even associate, and you're just like, hey, can you like be positive, and then they're not ever, and you're just kind of like, I don't want to be around that person anymore. I kind of want to watch that person.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge CM Punk fan, but like, it's not like AEW needs him.
No,
like, they've been over 1 million for 3 weeks without him. You know what I mean? Like, they have so much talent that it only just catapults someone higher, and it's gonna be like MJF. And I think it should be. I think he's the best thing they got right now.
He's a beast. Dude, he just because he not saying he's just physically, he's just a beast on the mic. He's just a beast of a wrestler, and then he just. I'm not saying like he's a beast like where he just fucking he just the shit he does is very savage.
He just lives this stuff.
And that fucking gimmick with the what was it, dragon or what was it? What did he have on his head? What was he?
It was like a devil.
Devil. He's a devil. That was scary. Yeah. And then he's selling a shirt with that. It's sold out. It's like a kiss with the devil or deal with the devil or something like that. And I'm like, but that was kind of scary, to be honest. That devil face was like pretty crazy.
But I also think that Omega and the Bucks should be they should take their EVP titles.
And remove them.
They should just be wrestlers. You can still pay them what you were paying them. You know what I mean? It's not like they were fucking doing anything apparently.
Well, supposedly they were just there because they're like in the beginning, so he kind of just like
Oh yeah, so you can still pay them like that. They just don't need the title.
But remove it. But I think they need to give it to. I think they need to give it to 3 wrestlers though. Like not like I'm talking about former wrestlers, like Big Show.
Maybe if you're not wrestling anymore, you know.
Well, because it's like, why did you bring like I don't give a like. I think I told you about this at the pay-per-view. I don't give a fuck about like Mark Henry interviewing, a couple of divas. Like I want to see him like let's hear his input because I've heard him on that like the show where they sit at dinner on WWE Network. He's got great input. Like he's got some stories.
I'm sure he's doing a lot backstage.
Yeah.
I'm sure all those guys are, It's just a matter of I think it'll be like because I like seeing Punk, but he's 45 years old.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? If that's it, that's it. You know what I mean? Like we'll benefit from having someone else being in a higher spot,
Sure.
So but like
who do you think is gonna be the champ? You think it goes back to Moxley? Or do you think they're ready to start something new or Moxley's ready to take I heard Moxley wants a vacation.
Right. He was supposed to have a vacation and then he came back to work after the fight because they were getting suspended so many people.
Oh, let me ask you this before we get away from the fight. Do you think the whole locker room is mad at those people?
The whole locker room is mad at Punk.
They're all mad at Punk. Nobody's mad at Kenny or the.
I don't think so. The heat's all on Punk. Everybody's mad at Punk. That's why I'm saying he has to have a huge change of attitude because if he's coming back, he's got to apologize.
I didn't know that. Oh no! Wow.
All the heat's on Punk. Yep.
I think he's not going to apologize for 9 months though.
He's not going to apologize. His ego's too big.
Dude, that locker room would beat the fuck out of him. I know MJF hates him. And so does fucking John. John Moxley, I think, really does hate him.
No, I don't think so. I think the guys that don't have an ego don't mind him being there. Mm-hmm. Moxley doesn't have a real ego.
Yeah, he's pretty cool.
Bryan Danielson doesn't. Those guys that just love being in an environment where they're making money and having fun doing what they're doing.
Plus, they're not restricted back.
You got to have that mindset. You can't always want to be the champion.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's like, yeah.
Because you're not always going to be.
Yeah.
So you got to enjoy the storylines that you're in that don't always involve titles.
I think that's true. Because
some of the best storylines didn't involve titles in wrestling.
True, yeah.
Some deep personal stuff that happens, you know what I
mean? like Kane like JR part.
Yeah. Like Rikishi's running over Stone Cold.
That was great.
But
Vince blowing up in the limo.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of those storylines are the best. So you can't just want to be the champion all the time. You got to enjoy the whole thing. I think Moxley and all of them feel like they enjoy it, so they don't mind Punk. But like the people that have egos that don't want him in their way, it becomes a political thing backstage. And then it's who's getting more money and all that shit, so.
That's dope. That, it's dope that that they can come back from the situation because they have people to still carry it. Because that would have been really bad if they didn't have anybody extra. Yeah. But it's now at a point too where other people got to step up.
Yeah, but I think I would like Moxley to win it again, and then go on to be the one that MJF beats.
Yeah, I would like to see it. Yeah,
but I wouldn't be mad either way because I love both of them. So it's like and more Danielson can I would be happy either way.
I think MJF having the championship, like, it'll sell anyone's brand, but a lot of people are going to get to know him. Like, It's going to be a ride. It's not going to be like 2 weeks. It's going to be like And I think people are going to be like, who the fuck is this guy? And then now that ESPN and Bleacher Report are really covering wrestling, you know, people are getting highlighted. And like people love wrestling still. I mean, um, uh, you and I like didn't, you know, I don't know, like I don't think you and I really we saw this getting big, but you know, we didn't realize how big this really would get. I mean, some of these people that were coming in is crazy.
Yeah, for sure.
So I want to say this. This show has been a blast. It's always fun linking up with Frankie Blice. So go to Frankie's Barbershop. Shout out to Frankie. Frankie, you want to give your socials and how people can reach out?
Yeah. Vintage Barber Lounge. You can book with any of us on Booksy. If you download the Booksy app on your phone and search Vintage Barber Lounge, and it's real easy to use and get you right in and right out. Shout out to my family at home. Jenny, I love you. Aaron, Will, and Jazz.
I was about to call you out.
Yeah,
I was waiting for Jazz.
My dog out.
I was going to shout out Jazz if you did.
Love you guys. And shout out to everybody. Love y'all.
Yeah. So everybody, thank you for listening, downloading. This episode will go up tomorrow on September 21st. I want to thank everybody that always does, give me good feedback and shows love and, give me all the downloads and listens. Tell me what you hate, tell me what you love. vibingwithsleazy@gmail.com, Vibing with Sleazy, the podcast, Facebook, Instagram. Reach out. Coven of Rejects, look for the episode with me and her Patreon. Shout out to Lick Like a Lollipop. Told him I'd give him a shout out. I want to shout out Frankie for coming. It's been a great episode, a long one. We always bring in the heat. We always bring in the content. Vibing with Sleazy. We're out. Peace.